In Reader's Workshop, we basically teach mini lessons on various times of the week where we talk about a concept that we want them to focus on. Sometimes it might be plot, it might be theme, it might be characterization, and then we give them time in class to read their books. And then twice a week we have what we call our book clubs. We've put them into small groups, like between 3 to 5 students, and we give them a set of questions that we want them to kind of talk about in their book clubs. And they have discussions for about 20-25 minutes. I walk around and I supervise and see what they're talking about. Sometimes I get involved in the discussion, sometimes I just let them speak. For the longest time, the whole class novel was the way to do teaching, and what many researchers were finding that when you force feed one book down a student's throat, it seems that they sometimes can be more reluctant to read it. So what we try to do is we try to select about 3 or 4 books that they could select, so that give them the feeling of a reader's choice. So basically we just selected a theme. Our first book club that we're doing this year was nonfiction book club, and now we're doing a social justice book club. And they had choices of 5 books in the nonfiction, and they had a choice of 3 books in the social justice. So we wanted to give them the chance to pick the book that sounded the best fit to them. I go to a Winter Institute in Middleton, Wisconsin every year. This will be the 4th year I think I've gone. Maybe I've gone 3 years, I don't know. 3 or 4 years. Mrs. Hobley, Mrs. Tambernino, and myself all went to New York City to Columbia for a week and went to a Reader's Workshop class. And it was very intense, going to school all day, getting lots of information on how to run these Reader's Workshops. Got a little bit of information how to do Writer's Workshops as well. And that's how we kind of got our start. So while book club is going on, we usually try to have 2 to 3 activities going on at one time. We give them a lot of time to independent read. Basically, 3 times a week, they're getting about 20 to 30 minutes a day to read their books. We've given them a set amount of pages that we want them to get to for the next book club. We also we might implement our mini lessons there, things we want them to focus on for their books this week. And then we do something else that we've been working on in English class. So for example, right now, we've been working on our unit with Hamilton. So we've been studying some Hamilton songs every day while the book club's been going on.
Okay.
We've only been doing it for 2 years. And I think that it's been successful as far as getting kids to talk about reading, getting kids to pick something that they want to read. The only thing that I'm not happy with, and I'm not sure how to fix it yet, is I don't know if I have 100% proof that they're actually reading the book, or if they're kind of going through the motions and just going along with the group. That's one of the reasons we have them do these pre-writings every day before the book club. I'm trying to gauge whether or not they've done some reading. We ask them to be honest and tell us how many pages they've read, and then I've got some questions here that basically they need to have read something to been able to answer them. So that's my only thing. My goal as a teacher is I want every kid to walk out of Boston High School wanting to read, and these book clubs I think have helped for some students, but some, other students I don't think I've achieved that goal. And some of the other programs out there, like, I mean, I'm just going to throw one out there, the accelerated reader one. I mean, you hear horror stories about that, how kids basically hate reading a book because they know that they've got questions about it, and then half the time the questions that are asked, that a kid that's read the entire book can't answer the questions. I read this one where an author actually took the AR test of their own book and they got a question wrong. I mean, so that kind of tells you how useful those tests are. And again, it's just another test. We don't want them to feel like they have to prep for a test. We want them to talk about literature. We want them to just discuss the book and what they liked and what they didn't like, and you know what upset them, and how does this resonate with their real life. We don't want to have to make them write a 12-page essay on it. You know, reading's supposed to be enjoyable, and we're trying to put some enjoyment into it.